So the figure that we have on the review table is going to be Transformers Siege War for Cybertron Megatron action figure. As for height of the action figure in robot form, it's going to be just below the 7-inch mark. Okay, so let's take a hold of the action figure and let's discover articulation points. Okay, so the little changes that I did to this action figure, actually just the sticker for the replacement of the very small Decepticon insignia that is on the chest of this action figure. So that is from Toy Hacks. So we have one in robot form, and we also have another in his tank form, which I'm going to point out later. Okay, so as for that sword gun, so we still have the original pieces, which I already took out. I rather have this kind of configuration, more of the Generation 1 animated series form, wherein he had something similar like this on his back. Okay, so details on the head unit. Actually, one of the very best looking Decepticon Megatron action figures out there. Okay, so for the head, we have left and right movement, and we have head tilts. For the body, we have left and right motion, full range of motion for the arm, the poses, rotation on the elbow, and we have elbow bend, just a single point. We don't have any articulation on the handset because of transformation. And as for the leg, also because of transformation, so this is where we have multiple points of articulation because of how we're going to break that leg in transformation mode into its tank form. Okay, but for its robot form, forward kicks very possible, side kicks very possible. So just a little bit of Jean-Claude Van Damme. There you go. Single point of articulation on the knee, and we have swivel for the foot, but it's all it's going to be just sideways. We don't have any articulation moving back and forth. Okay, so as for details, we have it's not supposed to be dirt, but wear and tear on the frame or armor of Megatron. So in some places we have those gray paint. I did not bother to take them off because actually it really looks okay, so fine with me. It's only the Optimus Prime figure that, yeah, I'd rather have a clean Optimus Prime figure. But for Megatron, I like those kind of details. It adds a little bit more of flair to the action figure. Okay, so for transformation mode, so let's start with taking off the accessories, so the single accessory that we have on board, and then let's straighten out the legs and the arms. And let's start with folding the handsets into its forearm. Next thing, we're going to resituate the cannon. So the barrel pointing upwards, and these side pieces on the arm, raise them up. And we're ready to fold on the side, the, what do you call this, the sides, the spurs for the leg. Okay, so yeah, so those are the very simple transformation fixes in robot form, and we're ready to rotate that waist. Okay, now we're going to move towards the back, and we're going to open this up. So we have those pegs on the bottom of the threads, and this is going to open up this way. And you're going to raise this back section of the backpack, the whole thing, the whole assembly. Oop. Yeah, come on, there you go. So just lift it up and move it forward, and you're ready to fold the arms. So this is going to be the revolving base for the tank turret. So we're going to fold it this way. Okay, so actually we still have a peg and joint on that section, so disengage those, and we're ready to form the tank turret. Okay, so peg, joint. So once we already formed this section of the turret, let's move forwards towards the front of the tank. Okay, so move these two sections forward, actually that way, and it's going to cover the head of Megatron. And there you go, that's the other Decepticon logo that I placed, Toy Hacks sticker. Okay, so we have joint and peg. Okay, so we're going to snap that into place. There you go. So we already formed this front of the tank, and we're ready to move that or fold that forwards. Okay. There you go. So let's check on orientation once again. So that's the front of the tank, the turret, and just realign once again the forearms. So since we already formed this section, we're ready to move towards the back. Okay, so check orientation. So the top, the front, and let's move towards this section. Okay, so lift this part of the legs. So actually it's going to be the back of the shin. Now you're going to collapse this part of the leg onto the shin section. Okay, so check out the orientation of the joints where you're going to collapse the sections. Okay, there you go. So just do that and collapse it in that way. Okay, and realign the hip joint. There you go. And we're ready to lower this section onto the rest of the assembly. Okay, so just take note of joint and peg. There you go. Okay, so that is going to connect into place. Here you go. So one leg is already formed. We're already 80% done. So actually very easy transformation. Okay, so next thing, we're going to move this section. Okay, so just collapse it in. Better to do it that way, and then move it sideways to allow for more clearance as you fold those legs in. Okay, so you already formed a letter L and you're ready to collapse this section onto that space. Okay, so there you go. Yep. Okay, now we're ready to realign this leg and the hip section. Just try to rotate it. Okay, so when you transform the figure back into its robot form, you won't have a very hard time. Okay, so the orientation should be that way. Okay, so we're almost there. There you go. Okay. Okay, so once again, let's check orientation. Okay, so this section now, joint and peg. There. So you're going to lower this part of the back shin and peg it into place. Whoop. Okay, so we have rolling wheels, and you'd understand why this section is smeared or has damage, because that's where Megatron would roll onto surfaces. Okay, here you go. Front part is nicely formed, and we're just ready to snap this into place. So front part of the barrel, peg and joint. There you go. Okay, so that is Siege Megatron in his alternate form, and this section of the turret is going to rotate. Okay, so just snap that into place. Perfect. Okay. Okay, so we're ready to take the dimensions of his alternate form. So just the length of the tank. Now if you're going to include the barrel, of course that's going to lengthen the entire assembly to almost 8 inches, just an additional inch. But for the main body of the tank, it's going to be around the 7-inch mark. Up front, 3.5. Okay, so we have Megatron back in his robot form. So just reverse the transformation method, which is actually very easy. Okay, so one of the best action figures of Megatron out there, actually in tank form, and especially in its robot form, would really give you the nostalgia vibes, or G1 Transformers nostalgia vibes, especially in this configuration. So if you like this review, like, comment, and subscribe to help me grow my channel. And see you on the next action figure or custom action figure review.